Good morning, scholars, and welcome back to day 3 of Journeys, where we are reading A Fine, Fine School. Our outline for today is as follows. We're going to review our vocabulary words, go over the vocabulary strategy, and then we are going to read the anchor text. But what's going to be different than the last 2 days is you guys are going to be reading the anchor text either with your teacher or to yourselves, however you guys feel. All right, let's start with a little bit of vocabulary review where we are going to fill in the blanks here. First one, a blank who gets to know the students will be a better leader. I'll give you guys about 10 seconds to think about that answer. Yes. To fill in the blank, we're going to put the word principal. Great job. Number 2. Colorful kites blank high in the sky at the school's cultural fair. Raise your hand if you know what word goes in that blank. Yes, sword. 3. Students and their families blank for miles to raise money for charity. Yes, strolled. Great job. 4. This boy is blank. He is afraid rain will ruin the class field trip. Correct. The correct answer is worried. 5. The young actors feel blank of their terrific performance in a school play. If their performance was terrific, how do you think they would feel? Yes, the correct word is proud. Each day, a different student blanks school news over a loudspeaker. Yes, the correct answer is announced. 7. The sun shines and the air is clear. It is a blank day for the school yard sale. Correct. That answer is fine. And lastly, we blank should turn off lights when not using them. Our vocabulary word that goes in there is certainly. Great job. Now we're going to go move on to our vocabulary strategy, which in this unit or lesson is context clues. I know many of you have learned about context clues in the past, so this for some of you might be a review and for others it might be brand new. So let's take a look at what context clues are. Context clues are the words and sentences around a word that gives clues about its meaning. In other words, there's a word in a sentence and you can't figure out what it means. You're going to use the words in that sentence to help you identify or define what that word you're struggling with is. So let's look at our example. Mr. Keene called an assembly. The students and teachers gathered together for the meeting with Mr. Keene. What does the word assembly mean? The word assembly is to gather together. So if you look in that sentence that's provided for you and you look at the next sentence, it says the students and teachers gathered. So an assembly is a gathering. All right, so there we used our context clues to help us figure out the meaning of the word assembly. Now we're going to take a look at our worksheet that we're going to fill out together. It's called At the Art Museum. Miss Banks was taking her students on a class trip to an art museum. When they arrived, Miss Banks introduced Miss Diaz. Miss Diaz is a docent who volunteers here, and he will be our guide today. Mr. Diaz pointed out elements about each artist's work, such as use of color or thickness of brushstrokes. Each artist has his or her own way of creating a painting. Mr. Diaz gave each student a paintbrush. Go home and generate your own work of art, Mr. Diaz said. Make the kind of art you like best. Show us your view of the world. The students were so keen to get started, they could hardly wait to get back. Miss Banks said to the class, perhaps this experience will encourage some of you to train at an art school. So, as you can see, we have 5 words underlined: docent, elements, generate, keen, and train. For the word docent, our context clues are volunteers and be our guide. For generate, the meaning is to make. So I want you to find the context clues. The word keen, our context clues are could hardly wait. And I would like you to find the meaning. And then we have the word train. Our context clues that are given are at an art school. You are going to find the meaning. I'm going to give you about a minute to really think about your answers for filling in these blanks. Awesome job. Let's take a look at our responses. You guys said the meaning of the word docent is someone who shows visitors around the museum. For generate, you guys told me the context clues were your own work of art. The meaning of the word keen, you said, was eager and impatient. And for the word train, you told me that the meaning was to learn. Great job using the story and the sentences to help you find the meaning and the context clues for these words. Now we're going to independently read the anchor text. Once we are done reading the anchor text, we will answer questions as a class. All right, scholars, now that we have finished reading independently or as a class our anchor text, let's go over some comprehension questions. Our first one, how are Tilly's weekdays different from her weekends? On weekdays, Tilly goes to school. On weekends, she climbs her favorite tree and plays with her dog Beans and her brother. Great job. Our second question. Why do you think Tilly's brother is upset about Tilly going to school in the summer? He's used to Tilly being able to play with him all summer, and now she can't. And for our last question, what is the story's message about good ways to solve problems in a school? What details support your answer? If people listen to others when they have concerns or problems, they can usually solve the problems so everyone is happy. Details that support our answer are once Mr. Keene listens and solves the problem, he is carried through the school and the town. All right, scholars, awesome job today. I will see you back tomorrow morning.